Greater Media Broadcast News.
Welcome to another edition of Greater Media Broadcast News. I'm Susie Shea, bringing you the top headlines in Central New Jersey. Here are some of the stories we're covering this week. Human trafficking on the rise, power restored to Middlesex County towns, seminar highlights dangers of future storms, blood donation shortages, and a film for the superheroes at heart. The term human trafficking is not often associated with the Super Bowl, but concerns are being raised that the upcoming event, which is expected to draw hundreds of thousands of visitors to New Jersey, will feed the criminal enterprise. Local law enforcement officials and nonprofits have been working over the past year to raise awareness of the issue in advance of the big game, which they fear could spark an increased demand for illegal labor trafficking and sexual services. During a forum this month in Middletown, advocates warned that New Jersey has already become a trafficking hub for guns, drugs, and humans, and advocates are calling for stricter laws and greater protections for the victims. For more on the local conversation surrounding human trafficking, see this week's editions of Greater Media newspapers. And here's Mark Rosman with more headlines from this week's papers.
For the past few months, Greater Media Newspapers has been reporting about an outbreak of heroin use in Monmouth and Ocean counties. Prosecutors have been spending a lot of time out in the community to warn people about what is happening, specifically with young people and young adults. In Howell Township last week, a meeting was held at the Howell Middle School North. It gave a chance for Howell residents to come together and to listen to police and other representatives discuss this ongoing problem. Specifically, the mother of one young man who lost his life to a heroin overdose made quite an impression on the people who attended this meeting. It's worth noting that the purity of heroin that's reaching our area is increasing and is as great as it has ever been. Police say a lot of it is coming from the Philadelphia area, with Interstate 195 serving as a pipeline directly into Monmouth and Ocean counties. This is an article appears in Greater Media Newspapers this week as we continue to follow the story.
The power is back on in Edison and Highland Park, and Jack Murtha has the details on what went wrong last week when power outages took place in both towns.
Power outages left thousands of Edison and Highland Park residents in the dark last week. But as of Monday afternoon, the lights turned on once more for the affected PSE&G customers. An equipment failure at an Edison substation earlier this month forced utility workers to institute a string of temporary repairs. Bitter cold temperatures destroyed those fixes last week, causing about 2,500 people to go without power. PSE&G officials have taken steps to remedy the problem, but it should take about 2 more weeks for permanent repairs to be made to the substation. Amid a stint of freezing temperatures and biting winds, PSE&G is urging affected customers to contact utility representatives as necessary. For more information, read this week's edition of the Edison Metuchen Sentinel.
North Middletown could be getting some extra help from FEMA. Here's Keith Miller.
Despite avoiding flooding during Sandy, Irene, and countless other storms, a community of Middletown homeowners still faces the prospect of rising flood insurance rates and a requirement to elevate homes nearly a dozen feet. Years ago, FEMA decertified the levee outside of North Middletown, which has provided the community of about 1,400 households with effective flood protection for decades. North Middletown has since been placed in a high-risk flood zone, requiring homeowners to buy flood insurance and, as of next year, requiring them to elevate. Now, after months of grassroots campaigning for assistance, North Middletown homeowners may finally get some help. According to Congressman Chris Smith, FEMA has agreed to perform a new comprehensive study of the community's true flood risk, which could lead to significant relief in the months and years ahead. In this week's Independent, we speak to Smith about the need for the study and how the grassroots efforts of one small community could ultimately lead to a big change.
And here's a roundup of headlines from this week's papers. Superstorm Sandy may have served as a learning experience for shore communities, but as time passes and memories fade, some believe the region is in danger of repeating its mistakes. A recent seminar at Monmouth University highlighted the work that has yet to be done to help communities withstand natural disasters, from strengthening building codes to expanding buyout programs. After being nearly last for years, New Jersey schools are now in 37th place for serving breakfast to children from low-income families. The Garden State jumped from last year's 46th place thanks to the Breakfast After the Bell program. With all this chilly weather, some of you may be anticipating springtime more than usual. Well, catch a glimpse of the upcoming season at the Deep Cut Orchid Society's Winter Show next week. The Holmdel Show is the largest of its kind in the tri-state area. The recent snowfall has led to the cancellation of dozens of blood drives in the tri-state area, and the public is being asked to make up for the shortages. To see how you can donate blood and for more on any of these stories, see this week's editions of Greater Media newspapers. And here's Bruce Johnson of Greater Media's WCTC with an update on the Rutgers basketball team. After that, we have Tim Morris with more on local sports.
The Rutgers men's and women's basketball teams are just about halfway through their lame duck season in the American Athletic Conference, and this year has felt like a bad layover in Peoria on the way to Honolulu. Rutgers is going from arguably the top basketball conference in the old dismantled Big East to the powerful Big Ten next season. But in between is this cockamamie one-year stay in the American Athletic Conference. To begin with, the name of the league is about as generic as the Acme products in those old Bugs Bunny cartoons. You know, Acme Fireworks, Acme Roofing, Acme Vacuum Cleaners, etc. Could they have come up with anything more boring? And even if you go with just the initials, the AAC, it sounds like the prestigious ACC or Atlantic Coast Conference. Or you can go with the nickname and call the American Athletic Conference the AC. The AC. Well, forget that. In fact, forget the entire American Athletic Conference. It's been like eating one of those stale pretzels at a snack food line in the Peoria airport. No anticipation, nothing but empty calories. So all I can really do now is count the days until Rutgers officially joins the Big Ten on July 1st, when we can say goodbye to the UCFs, the USFs, the SMUs, and all the rest of the AAC. Man, all these letters are wearing me out. I'm Bruce Johnson on 1450 WCTC and WCTCAM.com. Geez, more letters.
The system. In basketball terms, it is described as an up-tempo, freelancing, run-and-gun style that emphasizes the three-point shot, quick offensive possessions, and full-court pressure defense. To some, it is a gimmick. However, Manalapan High School girls head coach Scott Horton has been employing the system with success. The Braves are 6-4 and finished first at the Lady Wave tournament. What you'll see from the Braves are frequent mass substitution, which allows the players to go all out for short periods of time. There's no walking the ball up the court here. It's like a track meet. Shots are taken quickly, followed by a trapping defense designed to force turnovers. Like here, which triggers a quick transition game. Hit or miss, the Braves are going to keep putting up shots. Three-point shooting is an integral part of their offense as well. The Braves make teams play at their tempo. They may give up an easy basket here and there, but they're right back at it after scoring, running, looking to wear teams down. Tim Morris for Greater Media Newspapers.
An Edison resident is enlisting the public's help to make a film of epic proportions. Here's Jessica D'Amico.
An Edison filmmaker is going for broke in efforts to bring to life his big screen dream. Along with a film school college buddy who serves as co-writer and producer, Giancarlo Fernandez has poured all his savings into making 28-minute Epic, a full-length film about two young guys from Jersey who decide to become superheroes for hire. They later find out, however, that being a hero is not always super. The filmmakers have assembled a cast and crew from around the state who share in their passion and have launched a Kickstarter campaign to help raise the additional $112,000 needed to make the film. For more information, see this week's edition of The Sentinel.
Fans across the nation are gearing up for the Super Bowl this weekend, but one group is already ahead of the game for the sake of charity. Here's Kathy Chang.
Can we make a little noise? Come on! Laura Gibbons, organizer of the bowl, got people excited as bowl festivities got underway last weekend. 3 area high schools, St. Joseph's, North Brunswick Township High School, and Hunterdon Central Regional High School, volunteered their time at an event that involved football, charity, and fun. Showstoppers Plus of North Brunswick presented the bowl, which included games, music, a meatball contest, a talent show, and a live performance from John Peasy, a stand-up comic and ventriloquist who has appeared on NBC's America's Got Talent. The event was tailored to children with special needs. Proceeds benefited Fun Abilities, an elementary school program promoting balance in life, and Life Without Limitations, which addresses driving concerns for New Jersey high school students, led by Gabe Hurley, a 2003 graduate of St. Joseph's, who was seriously injured in a car crash that involved a 17-year-old driver. This is Kathy Chang for Greater Media News.
For more in-depth coverage and additional stories, pick up your Greater Media newspaper today. You can join the conversation at facebook.com/Greater Media Broadcast News. This is Susie Shea. Thanks for tuning in.